My name is DJ Larry Love, and I am a DJ, event curator, and a community leader. So my day differs. Um, I'm a father, so sometimes it looks like getting up and tending to him. My mother helps me raise him so that I can be free to move around and travel and do the other things I need to do. So some days it looks like me getting up, uh, meditating, drinking some water, uh, taking care of bathroom and life initially inside the house. Um, then I may leave the house and have a meeting. Sometimes I take the meetings at the house. It just depends on whether I'm in the city or not. So every day is a little bit different, to be honest. But most days starts with self, and then my son, and then I usually jump straight into some meetings after spending some time with myself. Most of my work is about my brain at this point, so it comes from uh, ideas that turn into reality, essentially. So, yeah. My favorite activity is spending time with myself. And why? When I first started DJing and curating spaces for people, it was more about the initial work of spinning records and finding the music, and that was kind of the focus. And then I realized through the music I was bringing people together. So the only way to really like hone in on that is by spending time with myself so that I can understand like what is the intention. So as a DJ, I don't just put people inside of a room with music, which is essentially what all of us do, at the base level. But there's a level of intentionality so that when people come into the space, they feel it a certain way. So going back to meditating, spending that time with myself, uh, that mindfulness time and kind of introspective time, I'm able to really set a real intention about like what I want those people to feel when they come into that space that I create. So to be honest, these days it's really been spending time with myself. That's been one of my favorite activities. Me choosing to essentially create an Instagram blog called R&B Mostly, which turned into an event, led me to becoming a DJ, which led me to opening up for Shaggy 1 year, and then the next year Earth Gang. Um, and standing on that stage with my a group that I was managing at the time, I was their DJ and their manager, Love Culture, and standing in front of 5,000 people, like screaming at us, like right before the openers. I mean, the we're opening for the headliners. It was super surreal, and I took video in all of those moments with my phone. I set up my tripod because I'm DJing, so I don't have to be as present, so to speak, as the artists who are front line. And I have the camera behind me, and I can see the 5,000 people screaming at us. That was a super gratifying moment to not be doing any of this, to then having another moment where you open your eyes and there are 5,000 people standing in front of you because of something you chose to do, or just chose to say yes to in your mind initially. So those two moments were the moments I needed to remind myself of why I'm doing this. So those are two. They're crazy. Like, I'm opening up for two artists that I love. Shaggy, who I grew up listening to, and Earth Gang, who essentially are like counterparts at this point because we got to hang out with them as well afterwards. So, yeah.
Wow.
The advice I would give kids, I would first advise them to redefine what entertainment is. I believe we have a lot of people who, because they have a phone and a microphone, we can make anything, right? And they're not as mindful as what they're creating. So I would first say, start with what is entertainment to you, because ultimately, for me, entertainment is just about uh, capturing someone's attention. I just leave it that simple. And it's like, okay, what do you give them when once you have their attention? So then, the other piece a piece of advice I would give is make sure that because you're never gonna know exactly what you want to do when you first start. So just take the limits off and try different things, throw different things at the wall, see what sticks. Um, hmm. yeah, intentionality is the last piece I would say. So redefine what education is, entertainment is. Um, don't be afraid to try different things as far as entertainment is concerned, because those limits are completely off now, um, especially with the technology that we have. And then think about being intentional on what you really want to give to people, because we just need more love in this world. So I'm always gonna tell kids and people to lead with that, but um, yeah, just work on being intentional because it can shine through because we have the attention of people. So yeah. How y'all feeling? Okay. Um, I want y'all to understand that like what y'all have access to in this time is extremely important and extremely valuable. Y'all are learning how to take these cameras and tell stories, right? And it might seem very small or okay, cool, we can do that with our phones, which you can. But I don't know if any of y'all know who Spike Lee is, but Spike Lee is one of the greatest film directors to ever live. And he did an interview recently and said that you could take this and make a feature film. I don't know if y'all know too much about films and money, but there are billions of dollars to be made from film. And he said that you can make a film with your phone because the technology has changed so much. So you have a teacher here who's taking his time every day to teach y'all how to use these things so that you can do whatever you decide to do with them. Even if it's just having the knowledge, you can literally change your lives from this time. So, um, yeah, man, take this time as serious as possible. Really learn everything that you can because you have a really great gym teaching y'all some amazing things. So he's worked for a lot of great places that work at a very high level and create amazing quality. So yeah. To me, fortitude is how you react and or respond when your back is up against the wall. In life, there's a lot of things trying to choke all the things out of you. Um, and having fortitude is the to me one of the defining factors of whether you'll be able to press through or not. So I believe fortitude is a huge piece of making it anywhere, whether we're talking about diet or life or raising kids or career. So I think it's super important. I believe Fort Caroline Middle School is one of the greatest things to happen to this city. The fact that we have teachers that really care about the students and they're able to give them creative freedom and tap into their creative passions while also being able to tap into sports and extracurricular activities. That is, as a uh, being from Duval County, I, you couldn't ask for anything better. Like as a way to pour into our kids, especially where we live in a time where there are so many resources being taken from children. So for them to be able to access that every day, that's incredible. So I think Fort Carolina is incredible. I love music, and I've loved music since I was a child. My grandfather, my father, even my mother, like they always had me listening to a bunch of different stuff. And I served in the Air Force for 9 years. And in the middle of that time, I came back to Jacksonville to help raise my son. And I had to kind of figure out what I was gonna do because I didn't plan to come back to Jacksonville, and I was only part-time military, and I'll move back. So um, I kind of stumbled into DJing. I had already created a brand called R&B Mostly, and the goal was to have like live artists come to Jacksonville that weren't coming here to perform, but that cost a lot of money to do. So I was just making these mixes, but I wasn't DJing at the time. And a friend of mine asked me about DJing. I bought some equipment and I did my first event on New Year's Eve, which is y'all will learn New Year's Eve is a huge time for people in Jacksonville or in the United States. Period. People go out if they don't ever go out the whole year, and that was one of my first gigs was on New Year's Eve. So to be able to DJ the whole time and keep their attention, I realized that, okay, I do understand music more than I thought I did. And I just kept going with it. So, yeah. Anybody else got questions? Go ahead. Not really a question, but I love your outfit. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to say this too, because y'all have a little bit of a uniform, so stick to that. But I dress like this because I tend to dress how I feel. So if I feel creative, I put on things that are. My friend made this shirt. I asked y'all this question. What do y'all think this means? What does it say, first of all? Be more. Be more. So some people think that means Baltimore because people from Baltimore call it be more, but it's not. It means you, you can be more. Yeah. Well, my artist that I have, he's signed to me, I guess, but he made this shirt. So he splattered paint all over the back, put the crown on the back, and this is his saying that you can be more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What places do you go to DJ? Great question. Great question. So I'm not a typical DJ. Most DJ inside of clubs or certain venues. I create the space. So I'll book the venue. Um, I'll book some other DJs to DJ with me. I create the idea and the programming, and then I'll market it so that all the people come. So it's what I do is a lot more complicated. Sometimes it takes me a month to put just one event together. But that's because I'm bringing together. So I have a monthly event I do, and I bring out 700 people, which is a lot of people. But we've been doing it for 7 years, so it makes sense. But yeah, so I used to DJ inside of spaces, and I still do private events sometimes, but I mostly create my own events and DJ my own events. So yes. Yes, I actually, and this will be something cool for y'all to look at some point. They have these things called boiler room sessions, where they take like a big warehouse and they bring a bunch of people there, and then they record the whole thing. They record the audio as well. So we shot one of our first boiler room sets at our event at the beginning of this year, like February. So that was one of my first times. Like I record myself a little bit DJing, but that was my first time recording like an entire set. So yeah. Donna Deegan, I, DJ Larry Love, choose you to come out and interview with Fort Carolina Middle School. Travis Williams, I choose you to come out and interview with Fort Carolina Middle. Travis Scott, I choose you to come and interview with Fort Carolina Middle School. Travis Hunter, I, DJ Larry Love, choose you to come out and interview with Fort Carolina Middle.